Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. We're heading back to the 36th District Court in Michigan to follow Carlos, also known as of the family Durham, as he returns for another round of hearings. He's facing back-to-back court dates with a judge who's not interested in hearing any of his arguments or unusual legal claims. In this episode, we'll walk through what happened, how the judge responded, and why the situation keeps escalating for him. So let's get started and break it all down step by step.
Okay, we're on the record. This is the People versus Carlos Lorenzo Durham. Case number 2259974. Count one. Only count one. Police officer resisting and reporting. He's a habitual offender court offense notice. And also case number 2258771. People versus Carlos Durham. Starting charged on this case with count one, weapons, firearms, possession by a felon. Count two, weapons, felony firearms. Count three, weapons, ammunition, possession by a felon. Count four, weapons, felony firearms. Count five, carrying concealed. Count six, police officer assaulting, resisting, and obstructing. And this is a habitual offender fourth.
All right, Carlos, you're really keeping Michigan's courts busy. Since I started following the story of Mr. Carlos of the family Durham, I decided to take a closer look at his situation to understand exactly what he's dealing with. After checking into it, it turns out he's currently facing 12 different charges, including 2 related to being a prohibited person found with a firearm. It's a long list, and each charge adds more weight to his ongoing legal issues. We'll break down what this means for his case, why it's becoming more serious, and how it all ties into his recent court appearances.
Today is set for a bond redetermination hearing. Appearances.
Alexander Kirker on behalf of the people, P86282.
Good morning, Your Honor. Delisha Taylor Coleman, P56278 on behalf of Mr. Durham on both matters for bond redetermination.
And Mr. Durham, can you state your full name for the record, please?
Carlos Durham.
Well, it looks like the Wayne County Jail is doing its job, because Carlos finally seems tired enough to start identifying himself normally. For once, he's using his real name instead of insisting on that of the family Durham identity he kept pushing before. It's a noticeable change, and it suggests he might finally be realizing that the courtroom isn't the place for those claims. This shift could mean he's starting to understand the seriousness of his situation and the need to deal with the case directly. We'll see if this new attitude lasts as the hearings continue.
Thank you, and whenever you're ready, Attorney Taylor Coleman.
Yes, Your Honor. As the court has before it, I believe Mr. Durham has a capias with this court, or maybe it was with Judge Elise Bryant. At this point, we'd ask for any capiases to be recalled. That he is a resident of Detroit. He has significant family contacts. I'm looking up his investigation report. I'm looking up the sheet from misdemeanor felony defenders on his behalf. Long story short, we're asking for a personal bond with tether, and that he would reappear at all future court dates.
Oh really? You'll have to share whatever gave you that level of confidence, because it's hard to believe that Carlos, using that of the family identity, will suddenly start showing up to every future court date. First, he still insists that the court has no authority over him, which makes it difficult to trust that he'll follow the required process. Second, as the previous judge pointed out, he has a long history of missing hearings and avoiding his legal responsibilities. With that kind of record, it's understandable to question whether he'll stay consistent this time. We'll have to watch closely to see if his behavior actually changes moving forward.
We could address the capias of December 14th, Mr. Durham.
I'm sorry, what did you ask him? I didn't hear the first part of your question.
Address the capias of December 14th of 2022.
Yes, go right ahead.
Mr. Durham, were you aware of that court date?
Yes, and kind of no. They bombarded me with a bunch of court dates, and I kind of might have forgot it because there's so many I got to go to.
Okay,
they sent me about 40 different cards with court dates on them.
You essentially made up your court date.
I think so. I got court dates all the way to February, and I think I just missed it out.
Come on, Judge. His excuse is basically that he mixed up this court date with the dozens of others he has scheduled. His acting like that should be a good enough reason to release him. But honestly, for his own safety and the safety of everyone else, staying in jail might be the better option right now. I looked into his record, and just in the month of February alone, he has 6 additional court appearances lined up. So it seems like February is going to be a very busy month for him, and for us too. We'll have plenty to cover, and plenty of moments that will probably make us shake our heads and laugh as we follow his cases all month long.
Okay. Would you reappear at all future court dates, Mr. Durham?
Yes, I reappeared. I appeared before. I was on Zoom. I was on the tether. I came to court.
Okay. Your Honor, we believe that this was just a mistake, a one-time mistake. As the court can see in the register of action, Mr. Durham had appeared at previous court dates, but as he stated, because of the number of court dates, this one fell through the cracks. But he would reappear at all future court dates. These are non-assaultive crimes. We're asking for a personal bond, reinstate the bond with tether. Would the court consider any reduction at all? I don't know if Mr. Durham can post any amount of money. Was there a change in your bond before Judge Bryant, Mr. Durham?
What? I didn't hear you.
Was there a change in your bond before Judge Bryant?
Yeah, it was a $10 bond. That's all it is. They said it's a $10 bond. I'm here to get this bond reduced so I can get out of jail.
And you have employment?
All right, that wraps up the first hearing. So let's move on to the second one, which happened just 2 days later. And I'm not sure what's going on with him at the jail, but every time Carlos appears in court, he seems to come back with a new attitude or a slightly different look. Today is no exception. He's once again showing up with even more unusual behavior than before. It's becoming a pattern at this point, and each hearing seems to bring a new version of him. Let's take a look at how this next session played out.
Okay, so I'm still going to keep it the same, Attorney Taylor Coleman. Because of the cases on both cases, I am going to wait until we get to the probable cause conference on the 25th with the DSU report to determine whether or not I'm inclined to reduce the charge. I need him to show up to court for something because we're back at the probable cause conference. I want you to listen up very carefully. Your next court date is January 25th. That is a Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you'll be zooming in from the county jail, and you'll have an attorney present to discuss with you any matters before we go on the record, okay? So show up for that, or you have to show up for that. Then your attorney then can possibly discuss something once we have a DSU report, okay? Attorney Taylor Coleman, anything from defense?
That's it. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you all both have a good one.
The moment he said that, the judge responded right away. Honestly, if a few of these so-called American state nationals faced real consequences for their claims, they might stop insisting they are not part of the country's legal system. Some of them keep repeating the same ideas without understanding how the law actually works. Maybe if they saw how quickly these arguments fall apart in court, they'd think twice before using them again. Either way, the judge made it clear that these claims won't get anyone out of their responsibilities.
Okay, gentlemen from the county jail who just sat down about 5 minutes ago, can you state your name for the record, please?
My name?
Yes, your name.
My name is Carlos Lorenzo, and I'm here to represent the person you got on that paper, which is an all capital name, all capital letters. That's a corporation, and I'm not claiming to be him, but I'm here to represent him. All capital name is all corporation. I'm not a corporation, I'm not dead, I'm not a fictitious entity. So I'm not claiming to be whoever name you have on that paper, which is probably in all capital letters. That's not my name. It's 2 names in this court that sound exactly alike, and only one of them is mine. What name is on that paper y'all have over there? Is it in all capital letters? That's not my name. But it's my property, it's my trade name, and I own it. And I need to know if anybody has permission to use it from me. So do we have that understood? I am not a U.S. citizen, and I'm not a citizen of the United States.
Well, to be honest, it looks like you're sitting in a part of the Wayne County Jail that isn't exactly the most comfortable or dignified spot. Those holding areas aren't designed to make anyone feel at ease, and the setup definitely doesn't do him any favors on camera. It's another reminder of how serious his situation has become and how far things have gone for him. Being in that environment should make anyone think twice about the choices that led them there.
I am not that person on that paper because that person is a fictitious entity. I am actually flesh and blood. I am a man standing on the land.
I think it's pretty telling that his lawyer only needed one meeting to understand how difficult it is to have a direct conversation with Carlos. It seems that even a short one-on-one discussion was more exhausting than he expected, and he clearly realized it wasn't going to be easy to guide him. You can almost see the frustration in how quickly the lawyer adjusted his approach. When someone refuses to listen or cooperate, even a skilled attorney can only do so much. Moments like this show just how challenging it is to represent a client who's determined to make everything harder than it needs to be.
And that's what I got you. Do you understand that? I'm not him. I'm claiming not to be him.
I just wanted to know who you were. Thank you. I had to check there. Attorney Simon, thank you. Richard, you want to speak to your client in private before we go on the record? Because he's still talking.
Sorry, Judge. Can you repeat that, please?
Do you want to speak to your client in private for a moment? Because he hasn't stopped talking for the last 10 minutes. He's still talking. He doesn't know he's on mute, but he's been talking.
I just saw him Monday at the jail, but okay.
Okay. Because I don't think we can have his hearing unless he understands that we all can't talk at the same time.
All right, I'll do a breakout.
Wait a minute, didn't he just say his name was Objection? At this point, Carlos really needs to make use of that internal filter and stay quiet before the judge loses patience. If he keeps interrupting and speaking out of turn, he's going to push her into holding him in contempt of court. That would only mean more time in jail and even more trouble added to the long list he already has. Sometimes the smartest move in a courtroom is simply knowing when not to talk.
Okay, we're on the record. This is People versus Carlos Lorenzo Durham. Case 2259974. Mr. Durham is charged with one count of police officer assaulting, resisting, and obstructing. It's a habitual offender fourth offense notice. Also, case 2258771. People versus Carlos Lorenzo Durham. Mr. Durham is charged with count 1, weapons, firearms, possession by a felon. Count 2, weapons, stolen firearm. Count 3, weapons, ammunition, possession by a felon. Count 4, weapons, stolen firearm. Count 5, carrying concealed. Count 6, police officer assaulting, resisting, and obstructing. This is a habitual offender. Fourth offense notice. Today's the day set for a probable cause conference. Appearances.
Alexander Kirker on behalf of the people, P8628.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jonathan Simon, P35596 for Mr. Both matters.
And Mr. Durham, can you state your name, please?
Objection. I'm not a mister. I just told you that it's two names that sound exactly alike and only one of them is mine. My name has never been spelled in all capital letters, so that is not my name. Whatever name you have on that paper is a corporation and it does not exist. That's not who I am. I'm not.
What is your name,
I'm here to
sir?
represent him.
What is your name?
My name is Carlos. That's what I go by.
State your name, please.
Objection. My name is not Mr. and I never spelled it in all capital letters. I keep explaining that to y'all, but y'all insist I'm that dead entity on that piece of paper, and I'm not.
What is your last name?
What is your name, ma'am? Can I have your name and your oath of office, please? Did you take an oath to uphold the Constitution, ma'am? Or did you take an oath to violate my constitutional rights in conspiracy with the prosecutor and the Detroit police?
Attorney Simon, what I'm getting here is that Mr. Durham is not present.
Objection, I'm not a Mr.
I can enter a case because that's not Mr. Durham. Or
Judge, maybe we could have a competency referral.
Exactly. He's clearly putting on a performance, but this judge, just like the last two, isn't interested in entertaining any of his unusual claims or behavior. She's focused on the law, not on giving him a stage to act out his ideas. At this point, everyone in that courtroom has seen enough of these arguments to know they don't lead anywhere useful. So that's where we'll wrap up today's video. There were a few more exchanges between the attorney and the judge, and they ultimately scheduled a competency hearing to determine whether he fully understands what's going on in his case. This step will help the court figure out if he's capable of participating in the process or if he needs additional support to move forward. It's an important part of making sure the case is handled fairly and responsibly. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like, and if you didn't, a dislike is fine too. Make sure to leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe with notifications on so you never miss future updates.